Good evening, folks. Today I am going to be taking you through some headshots. Yesterday I shot some headshots with a young actor called Vikas Gogana, who's all the way from Leicester, and we met up in Birmingham and we did a headshot shoot yesterday. So he's got his choices back to me very quickly, which means I'm in the process of editing his final 5 chosen images. So I thought I'd take you through how I do it and what I do. So let's jump onto the screen. So first thing that I'm going to do then is I've already selected a collection. Here he is, Vikas there, and I've rated my favourite images. He's given me literally the image numbers, so that's nice and easy for me to remember. So let's just select and then we'll go through them one by one. So first of all, this is the first shot we're going to do now. I'm going to try and keep this vlog fairly short, and I'm going to try and do it within sort of, I don't know, 20 minutes. Maybe that might be being a bit ambitious. I'm going to try and do it as quickly as I can without rushing. Now Vikas said to me he's well aware that he's got a couple of teenage spots on his head, and he did say to me, look, I appreciate that you've obviously got to get rid of some of the spots, but don't make me look like some sort of Hollywood model. So I'm not going to airbrush, you know, all the clarity out of his cheeks and his forehead just for the sake of it. What I am going to do though is get rid of these sort of blemishes that do pull a bit of focus. So I'm just literally gonna do that. So I always do the brush tool first, and if we look on his nose, we've got a couple of spots there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is resize to 10 by 8. Doesn't really matter which order you do that. I normally do it first, to be honest, but I forgot. I'm going to make some adjustments with the clarity of the eyes first of all. So we'll just paint over those eyes and we'll just select those so they're nice and selected. And then we're going to literally press done, and that's done. Might enhance the clarity a little bit because Vicky's eyes were so dark that when you enhance clarity and sharpness with really dark eyes, I think that's quite good. So that looks quite cool, I think. Good. Next thing I always do is add a bit of shadows around the cheekbone area. So we just grab a dark brush and we just paint in those shadows basically. What I might do is just make it a little bit easier here on the eye, quite literally. So let's just select that and we'll press soften skin. So we'll just select that. So that's Spider. Not even scared. I will keep watching it though. He's heading for the wall planner. Yeah. He's heading for January. He's living in the past. And we'll do the same on this side. Okay, then we'll just add a bit of shadow detail, and what I like to do, instead of reducing the highlights, I actually like to boost the highlights with headshots. So that's what we'll do. And we'll do our white point subtly. Yeah, good. And we'll add a bit of vibrance, take away a bit of saturation. And I'm just going to reduce the exposure because that looks a little overexposed. So just go down to that -20. And let's have a look at that. Yep, that looks like a finished image to me. Might just add a little vignette. Good. Okay, then we can move on to the next one. So, once again, let's get this into 8 by 10. could probably crop in a little bit further on this one. And let's start straight away with those hairs, especially the ones that are over the nose. Right, let's just enhance those eyes. So let's create a brush. Let's draw over the eyes. Done. So iris enhance, basically when you use that drop down, iris enhance is actually a preset. So you don't need to worry too much about the actual editing process of it. You can literally just press the drop down and it will use its inbuilt sort of preset basically. And I always find that when I use Lightroom CC and I use the spot removal tool, I always have it to heal, not clone, because clone just gives you literally a clone of whatever you choose. Heal is almost like Lightroom's version of Photoshop's content aware tool, where it literally thinks about what's around it and it makes like an educated guess really of what's around it. So it does a lot better job. And we are going to select soften skin. And we're done. Good. And last thing we'll do is reverse that saturation. That's quite good. Okay, good. Now we're on to the next one. How are we doing? 11 minutes, Jesus. Okay, better hurry up. And then we're just going to draw in those cheekbones, just draw down those shadows to make it look a little bit more epic. We're just literally trying to point the light in quite a flattering fashion, so that looks quite cool. I think that looks good. Yeah, good. Right, so let's reverse that saturation. Good. I might take that to the left, to the bluer side a little bit, a touch. Good, let's get a vignette going on, and that's another one done. Okay, now we're down to 10 by 8 and we're down to the third. No, we've done 4 out of 5 now, so we're looking good. Now one thing I wanted to mention was when you do a headshot for a client and when you are editing them, if you are going to use the spot removal tool, then make sure that say if you use a spot here and you want to clone that out, don't clone it with a spot that's the same colour from the background, because that bit of background will probably be out of focus. So always make sure you choose an area right next door to it on the same plane of focus, else it will look a little bit odd. Let's get rid of a little bit of, add a bit of clarity there. And you've got to try and be careful where you can not to select the eyelashes, because they play a really important part in the portrait. Okay, down to the last one now. Okay, we'll do the chin now. Then we'll get a bit of a darker brush just to paint in those cheekbones. As you can see with all my headshots, I have a bit of a way of working, and when you have a way of working, you subsequently develop, I guess, a bit of a style, which is exactly what you want to do as a photographer. If you find yourself doing the same things over and over again, then that's good. Because what you're saying to yourself is, right, look, this is the way I do it, and you know, this is the way I want all my images to look. You know, that they need to have a certain symmetry to them. So there we have, ladies and gentlemen, 5 retouched headshots. Now the retouching, as you can see, is fairly simple. Nothing too crazy, nothing too big. If I just put it on full screen for you here, you can still see that Vicky here is a 17-year-old lad. He hasn't got perfect skin, he'll be the first to admit that. So what's the point in us taking all that clarity out of his skin? Because that's not what he looks like when he turns up to an audition. So we've left in a little bit of that sort of ruggedness. And we've managed to get some really good portraits. And I've got to be honest, I think that this one is the winner, the one that we've done last. So Vicky, if you're watching, I think this should be your main headshot. So that may not have been the most thrilling video that I've ever done, but now you can see the process that I go through when I edit headshots. Now, when you edit a headshot, don't overcomplicate it. And I'm talking the UK market here, because in America it's a bit different. In America I've noticed that the headshot market is a little bit more glamorous, and it's maybe a little bit more about beauty. And in good old Britain it's more about the ruggedness and maybe the character and the drama of it, really. That might be doing both markets a disservice by saying that, but the way I look at a headshot is definitely drama, trying to get drama in those eyes. Catch lights, if you don't know what catch lights are, I'll do a whole video on that. Catch lights is basically how you can just draw interest into the eye when you're shooting portraits. And most of all, it's about capturing the soul of the person. Does this person look like they're going to turn up on time for an audition or for a job? Does this person look like you will be able to work with them? They won't just storm out of rehearsals first day because the temperature is 19.5 instead of 20. And do they look like they can play a variety of roles? So basically, sometimes when I do headshots, well, all the time, I've got to make the decision. Do I go for a generic sort of casting, or do I pigeonhole them into something that I think they can really do? That's a decision you've got to make every time that you do a headshot. So it's a huge can of worms, headshots. I could talk about it all day, but you'll be pleased to know that I'm not going to. So thanks very much for watching, folks. I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, see you later. It's a good finish, wasn't it? Laura, kid on the vlog, everybody!